She married a disabled man and got the biggest surprise of her life on her wedding day. Emma was a woman full of life and ambition. From a young age, she had dreamed of building monuments that would mark future generations. After years of effort, she became an architect in a large urban planning firm, a position she landed thanks to her talent and determination. His life was punctuated by meetings, models to be finalized, and major projects. She wandered the city, admiring the buildings she had helped to design, but despite her successes, a feeling of emptiness persisted within her. It wasn't that she was unhappy. On the contrary, she loved her job and the comfort it offered her. But at 32, after a series of superficial relationships and stories that had frayed over time, she aspired to something else.
A sincere, de Plouffe.
A love that cared neither for appearances nor external judgments. A love that would elevate her rather than constrain her. One fall evening, while attending a charity gala organized by her company, her life took an unexpected turn. The gala was held in a luxury hotel in the city center. Crystal chandeliers cast golden light on the elegantly set tables, and soft music floated in the air. Conversations were going well between the well-dressed guests, and Emma, although smiling, felt a little tired of social exchanges. She approached the buffet, grabbing a glass of champagne, when a deep, calm voice spoke up next to her. "You seem lost in thought." She turned around and met the intense gaze of a man she had never seen before. Tall, broad-shouldered, with a finely sculpted face and deep blue eyes that seemed to peer into his soul. His smile, warm and sincere, contrasted with the hushed and sometimes hypocritical atmosphere of this type of event. But what immediately caught his attention was the wheelchair he was sitting in.
Gabriel.
The name echoed in his head as he introduced himself with ease and confidence. Unlike many, he seemed neither embarrassed nor bitter about his disability. There was an aura of quiet strength about him, a serenity that captivated Emma. Intrigued, she struck up a conversation with him. They first talked about light subjects, architecture, literature, travel. But very quickly, their discussion became deeper. Emma discovered that Gabriel was a writer, specializing in inspirational stories and biographies. He told stories of resilience, humanity, and surpassing oneself. "I write because it's my way of walking again," he said with an enigmatic smile. Emma was struck by this sentence. He didn't look for pity, he didn't feel sorry for himself. He had transformed his accident into a new way of living, a new goal. Throughout the evening, they shared their passions, their dreams, but also their wounds. Gabriel told him about his accident that happened 5 years ago. A sudden shock, a car skidding in the rain, a second of inattention, and his life was turned upside down. Doctors told him he would probably never walk again. At first, he had sunk into despair, but he ended up rebuilding himself, day by day, word by word. Emma confided in her need for sincere love, in her past relationships where she had often felt misunderstood. With Gabriel, she felt an immediate connection, a mutual understanding that transcended words. The evening came to an end, and for the first time in a long time, Emma felt a spark that she thought had gone out. Before leaving, Gabriel handed him a card with his number. "If you ever want to continue this conversation, I'm always up for it." She took the card with a smile. That evening, when Emma returned home, she realized that she might have just met someone exceptional. But she didn't yet know that this meeting would change her life forever. The story of Emma and Gabriel was beautiful, but it was not without its difficulties. As soon as their relationship became serious, Emma felt the weight of others' gaze falling on her. His mother, in particular, did not understand his choice. When she told him that she was in love with Gabriel, her mother remained silent for a long moment, scrutinizing her as if she had just announced something absurd. Then, in a calm but worried voice, she asked, "Emma, are you sure what you're doing?" Emma frowned. "Why are you asking me this question?" His mother sighed before placing her cup of tea on the living room table. "You are beautiful, intelligent, you have your whole life ahead of you. Why choose such a complicated life?"
Emma sang.
"Do you really think that love is chosen the easy way?" "That's not what I'm saying," replied his mother, visibly uncomfortable. "But, a man in a wheelchair." Emma, Have you thought about what that entails? Did you talk about the future? How much weight could this represent for you? Emma felt a wave of anger rise within her. Do you think Gabriel is a burden? His mother hesitated, then looked down. I'm just saying you could have a simpler life. Find someone who could offer you everything you dream of, without the complications that their disability entails. Emma stood up, feeling her heart beat faster. Mom, Gabriel already offers me everything I dream of. He loves me, he understands me, he makes me happy. And contrary to what you think, it's not his chair that defines our relationship. But his mother didn't seem convinced.
You just want your best, my darling.
Emma sighed, understanding that, for now, she couldn't change her mind. If Emma's family was skeptical, Gabriel was fighting against his own doubts. One evening, while they were having dinner at Emma's apartment, he put down his fork and looked at her with unusual intensity.
Emma, are you sure you want this?
She looked up, surprised by his serious tone. Want what?
Be with me.
Sharing your life with someone who can never make you dance in the rain, or run with you on a beach, or... Emma interrupted him by placing her hand on his.
Gabriel, stop.
Love is not a list of physical activities that we can or cannot do. It's a connection, a way of completing each other. But he looked away. I don't want to be a burden to you. Emma felt her heart tighten. Listen to me carefully, she said softly. Love is not carrying someone, it is walking together, no matter how. Gabriel looked at her, moved by her sincerity. But, are you ready to face what others will think? The way they will look at us?
Emma shrugged.
I'm not in love with others, Gabriel.
I'm in love with you.
A shy smile lit his face, and for the first time in a long time, he felt a weight lighten in his heart. Their love grew over the months, then the years. Emma was determined not to let any obstacle come between them. Gabriel, for his part, regained a confidence that he thought he had lost thanks to her. 2 years after their meeting, during a weekend by the sea, Gabriel made an important decision. He wanted to propose to Emma. Evening was falling, and they were sitting on a terrace, facing the ocean. The sound of the waves accompanied the comfortable silence between them. Gabriel took a deep breath, then took a small box out of his pocket. Emma. She turned her head towards him, and her gaze fell on the sparkling ring he held. I love you more than I could ever express in words. You are the light that illuminated my life when I thought there was no hope.
Will you marry me?
Emma felt tears welling up in her eyes. Obviously, yes. She threw herself into his arms, and for the first time in a long time, Gabriel completely forgot his chair. Despite the doubts, despite the judgments, they knew that their love was stronger than anything. And now they would face the future together. On the morning of the wedding, a gentle breeze caressed the flowers in the garden where the ceremony would take place.
The benevolence and illuminated every corner of this magical place.
Guests took their seats under an arch of white roses and ivy, while a string quartet played a haunting melody. Emma, in an adjoining room, looked at herself in the mirror. Her dress, made of delicate lace, hugged her figure perfectly. Her hair pulled up in an elegant bun revealed her slender neck, where dangled a pendant given by Gabriel on their first anniversary together. His heart was beating wildly. Today she was united with the man she loved, and nothing else mattered. Her best friend, Leah, entered and stopped for a moment, moved.
You are a beautiful, Emma.
Emma gave him a nervous smile. I feel like I'm dreaming. Leah took his hands.
It's not a dream.
You marry the man who is able to see in you well beyond appearances, and who, above all, loves you deeply. Enjoy every second. A drum beat signaled the start of the ceremony. Emma took a deep breath, adjusted her veil and left the room, ready to join the man of her life. For his part, Gabriel, dressed in an elegant tailor-made midnight blue suit, was seated near the altar. His brother Thomas stood beside him, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Ready,
murmured Thomas.
Gabriel nodded, discreetly gripping the armrests of his chair. I have never been so ready. The sound of the violin rose, and all the guests turned towards the aisle. The conversations died down as Emma appeared on her father's arm.
A murmur of wonder ran through the assembly.
Gabriel felt his heart racing. She was sublime. Her smile alone was enough to brighten the day. He saw her gaze search his, and when they found each other, everything else disappeared. When Emma arrived in front of him, her father placed a kiss on her forehead before withdrawing. Gabriel looked up at her, unable to contain his emotion.
You are resplendent.
She smiled at him tenderly. And you are the most handsome man I have ever seen. The officiant spoke, asking the bride and groom to exchange their vows. But while everyone was waiting for Gabriel's speech, he took a deep breath and gave Thomas a knowing look. Gabriel placed his hands firmly on the armrests of his chair.
A suspended silence invades the assembly.
Then, slowly, he began to stand up.
A shudder ran through the crowd.
Emma immediately brought a hand to her mouth, her eyes wide, tears threatening to fall. Gabriel, his legs trembling, took a step. Then another. The guests held their breath. He fought against the pain, against the titanic effort that it required, but he moved forward. One step after another, he moved closer to Emma, until he was standing in front of her. Emma couldn't believe her eyes.
Comment.
She stammered, overcome by emotion. Gabriel, his voice trembling, explained, I have been working in secret with the best specialists and in intensive rehabilitation for a year. I wanted that, the day I became your husband, I would be able to stand in front of you, even if only for a few moments. A deep silence reigned before a wave of applause and tears of emotion invaded the assembly. Some guests, those who had doubted their relationship, seemed upset. Emma, unable to contain her sobs, threw herself into Gabriel's arms, helping him maintain his balance. You are the strongest and most incredible man I know, she whispered against him.
Gabriel, fighting against emotion, tenderly caressed her face. And you are the reason he fought.
Under this azure sky, in this garden bathed in light, they exchanged their vows, words filled with promises and unwavering love. Emma no longer saw anything other than him. And Gabriel, in that moment, knew that he had accomplished something greater than a physical feat. He had proven that love was a force capable of transcending all barriers. When the officiant uttered the long-awaited words,
You can kiss the bride.
Gabriel, still standing, pulled Emma against him and kissed her with all the intensity of their love. The guests stood up, cheering at this unforgettable moment. That day, they understood that their love had transcended all limits. Because more than the surprise itself, it was the determination, the strength and the promise of a bright future together that made this moment unique. And as the wind blew gently through the trees, carrying the laughter and happy tears of the guests, Gabriel and Emma began their new life hand in hand, ready to face the world, together.